Hello everyone and welcome to Golden Nova's First Reacts, where I react first to all the things you want to see reacted to first, as long as I'm the first person you come to react to things first, which I'm a bit behind on. It looks like this series of spoilers came out right as I was bedding down for sleepy time. And Konami's got to stop doing this. It wasn't much long ago that we had done Monarchs Explained. Heck, we were looking for more crossover Monarchs, like the Firestorm Monarch, but no dice here. It looks like they've decided to add even more other cards. Maybe there's some combo Monarchs. I've been seeing a lot of the pictures here, but I haven't seen what their effects are quite yet. But honestly, I should have seen this coming. The set's called Duelist Advance. In the OCG, it's called Advance Summoning, not Tribute Summoning, so big ha-ha. I'm glad to see that their sense of humor has not dulled at all. Let's take a look at what Monarchs have in store for us right now, starting with Idos the Underworld Monarch. So it looks like they're not changing names as they grow up. Heck, it looks like they're growing up at all, so they don't just stay stagnantly as Squires. This is very interesting. Level 6 Dark Spellcaster, 2400 attack, 1000 defense, kind of taking Delg's spot in that case. You can only use the first, second, and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add a Monarch spell or trap card or a monster with 2800 attack and 1000 defense from your deck or graveyard to your hand. You can declare an attribute. One face-up monster on the field becomes that attribute. Doesn't say until when. And if you tribute summon a monster with 2400 or more attack and 1000 defense while this card is in your graveyard, you can either add it to your hand or special summon it. Oh, that's goofy. Okay, so off the cuff, this looks like this is just Caius's armor. Not Caius. Erebus's armor. So, you know, that's foreboding. Effect-wise, it searches out all of your most important cards. You don't necessarily need the continuous spell card to search out your Mega Monarchs. This does it for you. It alters attributes, so you have a better chance at utilizing the extra effects of your traditional Mega Monarchs, which is pretty big. Normally, you have to give up doing that because you're playing a multi-attribute deck. And then this also comes out as extra material whenever you tribute summon another kind of Monarch-esque monster. So you can use this as additional material. You can make rank 6s out of this if you have an extra deck at all. So this is overall just a really solid addition to the team. The only issue is that it doesn't affect the board state. And the easier it becomes to deploy Monarchs, then the less it matters that they do things impactful on the board. And having more engine cards is hardly bad, but you're adding an engine to a tribute summon. Or rather, this is a normal or special summon. Actually, never mind. Now that I'm rereading this, this is a Monarch with no on-tribute summon effect. So if you bring this out, you actually want to pitch this and then bring this out in response to, or trigger this effect in response to its own summon. So never mind, this card is actually ridiculously busted. Don't listen to any of that previous stuff. This card is outrageous. Holy hell. Okay, next up is Tessera the Prime Squire, level 1 light warrior. Looks like it's got Idos' helmet. What's going on? Well, we're not getting a higher quality picture of that anytime soon. You can only use the first, second, and third effect of this card's name once per turn each. It's got 800 attack and 1000 defense, pretty typical for our Squires. You can reveal a Monarch spell or trap in your hand to special summon this card from your hand. During your main phase, you can immediately after this effect resolves, tribute summon a monster. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon a monster with 800 attack and 1000 defense from your deck. Also, you can't special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn. Yeah, not a terrible restriction. You're already building, well, not always, but most of the time you're building your deck with that restriction in mind anyway. Gives you a free tribute summon, which is excellent, and it's a free special summon. I forget if Idos... One second, let's double check. I think Idos can trigger on... Yeah, this can trigger on normal or special summon. What was the other one? It's not Ether. What was the other little Monarch? Crud. There we go. Idea. Yeah, this also triggers on normal or special summon. Okay, so this is just a lead into either of those. I guess that's Idea's helmet, but is that Idos' armor? Curiouser. Curiouser and curiouser. Okay. Scheme of the Monarchs. Ooh. Normal spell card, you can only, I assume, use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. First effect, though, send a Monarch spell or trap card from your deck to the graveyard, except a copy of this card. If this card becomes banished, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Add a monster with 2400 attack and 1000 defense and the same attribute from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Then, immediately after this effect resolves, you can normal summon a Zaborg the Thunder Monarch, Mobius the Frost Monarch, Thestalos the Firestorm Monarch, Grandmarg the Rock Monarch, Rise of the Storm Monarch, or Caius the Shadow Monarch. Okay. So we add and then free tribute one of our listed Monarch monsters. Because they don't want us to be able to do our Mega Monarch nonsense. I like that they're having a little board meeting. That's very funny. So this is huge though, right? Because we use this card to send the Prime Monarch. Prime. Yeah, this is the right one. The Prime Monarch has to banish 2 cards to work, but this can be one of them. So we summon out the Prime Monarch, banish this, target any face-up monster our opponent controls. So either they have to have the right attribute or we change it with our Idos upgrade. And then we get to bring on any of these ones. And we have the tribute fodder necessary for it in the Prime Monarch. Okay. Okay. Rebellion of the Monarchs. Oh, shoot. Okay. Idos says, is getting a little fed up with... Oh, I guess all of them are, because we can see... What is that? That's Ryza down there. That's Thestalos. That's Caius. They're all rallying behind Idos. Okay. Oh, that's what they're scheming. That's what they're scheming with their little schemes. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. Discard a card. You can't special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn. Also reveal 3 monsters with 800 or 2400 or more attack and 1000 defense from your deck. Your opponent chooses one to add to your hand. Also send the rest to the graveyard. You can banish this card from your graveyard to special summon 1 monster with 800 attack and 1000 defense from your hand. That's so... The wording here to make all this work is so freaking funny. So what? You want to reveal the new Idos, because that has a graveyard effect. I guess both the Idos and Adia have graveyard effects, so maybe reveal those. And then this is a free special, free normal summon. No, it is a special summon from hand of a Squire. Okay. Culmination of the Monarchs. Continuous trap card. If your opponent special summons any number of monsters and you control a tribute summoned monster, you can banish a Monarch spell or trap card from your graveyard, then activate one of these effects, but you can only use each effect of this card's name once per turn. Destroy a monster on the field, destroy 2 spell or trap cards on the field, discard a random card from your opponent's hand, destroy a set card, place a card on the field on top of the deck, or banish a card from the... So it's a trap card that allows you to mimic the effects of all of the base Monarchs. It's very fun that this has focused on the base Monarchs and their abilities. That's very funny. As a note, the text for Advanced Summon on Japanese cards has been updated to use a summon as a shorthand and the full word in furigana above it, much like with extra deck monsters before it. Okay. Wow, these cards are kind of goofy, actually. Monarchs are, of course, always going to be in this weird position where they are always either super busted or they are incredibly lackluster. The structure decks showed us that, and back when Monarchs were first really good, around the dawn of Yu-Gi-Oh's inception, they were really good, but they struggle to find a place in any other spot in the game's history. Maybe we'll see another bit of playability this time around. I think that the new Idos is friggin' incredible. If you are playing an extra deck variant, it's very good to have the extra level 6 material. None of this card's effects actually care about you having an extra deck or not, so that's viable for allowing that. Changing attributes, of course, is huge for accessing more Mega Monarch power, and then the added consistency of searching more of our on-theme monsters is humongous. Tessera is just an incredible Squire to go into. You need to have a Monarch spell and trap card in hand anyway to utilize Tenacity, so you're playing a big saturation of them, so bringing this out should not be a problem. And if you do, you get to start the Adia Idos line, or really any of the Monarch, any of the Squires, should you want to play any of those. Scheme is a wild way to get a, I wouldn't say a, no, actually it is a quick way to trigger your Monarch tribute summons, because if it's the Prime Monarch banishing this, then you can trigger this during your opponent's turn, get the Prime Monarch, and then get any one of these chosen Monarchs in your deck and then slap it on the field randomly. And of course, by any of them, I of course mean Caius, because it's really the only one out of all of these worth playing in a modern environment. Rebellion of the Monarchs is pretty funny. It's kind of takes not tenacity, because that directly searches it. It takes pantheism of the Monarchs and moves it towards the monster half of the deck, which is very funny. And then a continuous trap card that just gives you a lot of value. Oh, and notably, this card can also trigger a Scheme of the Monarchs, because it banishes your Monarch spell and traps from a graveyard too. And yeah, if you want to use your other Monarch effects, you can just run this continuous trap card. It has all of them on there right there. Okay, well, this is... I'm invested. I like this. I want to see where this is going. Hopefully we'll get a couple more waves of support with these. We can see how the rebellion against Erebus works out. Because, you know, it's 7 Monarchs against 1. Surely they can defeat this guy. Oh, maybe this is how they become Mega Monarchs, actually. They're all regular Monarchs here. Maybe this is them gaining their power to ascend. Oh. Okay, well, if there was any way for them to get me invested in all of this stuff, it was with the lore. Very happy to see that added in here. But now, I want to hear what you all have to say about it. Do you have any ideas as for what's in store with our wild regents? Do you think the cards are good, or am I overhyping them? Are there any combos that are going around that have yet to be unveiled? I'd love to hear all about them in the comments below. And until the next time Konami drops some juicy spoilers, I will see all of you next time. Bye-bye.
Today's episode is brought to you by Dragon Shield. Get the sleeves as strong as dragon scales that even come with their own lore, and save 5% on your order by using the coupon code GoldenNova at checkout. It was also brought to you by my lovely patrons, including this month's illustrious Quasar Commanders, Upstairs Media, and Cernite JCB, Nebula Navigators, 3rd Dynasty, 50 Gigabytes, Ada Basilisk, Adam Zajdel, Ancient Wizard, Andrew Newman, Battle Axe, Kane Senpai, Charlie Mercury, Chibi Gohan, Christopher Fuss, Clockswork, Comrade Copperbottom, Eric, Frankie, Garland Chaos, Green Knight, Great Big Pillock, Hairbear, Harry the Ominous Benefactor, Iron Zero, Iskander 711, Carp, Marion James E. Picata, Mike Cook, Millennia Asta, Muse Clark, Neon Yaminair, Orozco 09096, Panther J, Batpoos, Rebel King Lucifer, Red Eyes Jackalow, RJ the Jank Monarch, Sonic 21 Blast, The Critic of Innocence, Thievery Coast and the Wizard Moose, Cosmic Crusaders Ally Vatnia, Animasta, Anthrak, Baden von Titty Sprinkles, Beluga Masta, Blitzwolf, Chaz Ghost, Chris B, Dr. Entity RIP, Eva Padilla, Hike Boyagian, Herbal D, Inblink, Kale the Dragon, Lobomaru 02, Manga Pages, Natiel Lee Alexander, Nitromo, Not Al Gore, Nyx, Obsidian, Pombo, Rain, Rhyme Kairos, Schwenny, Shizuki Nijimura, Sophie, apparently, Sphilia, Stephen Williamson, The Legendary Raven, The Phantom Knights of Shitted Pants, The Gene, Tiger X2476, Weasel King of Weaseltown, Zaldreka and Zero De Nova, as well as all the lovely Starlight Explorers you see on screen now. If you'd like to help me in my journey to cover all of Yu-Gi-Oh's archetypes, get my videos early, be a part of these credits and other awesome perks, it would mean the world to me if you would check out the link to my Patreon in the description or consider joining here as a YouTube member. Even a single dollar means the world to me and honestly helps me a lot more than YouTube ad rev.